The second half of the Ontario Hockey League season is upon us. There is a lot of excitement in Sault Ste. Marie about the Greyhounds after a very successful first half. All right, Coach, the second half of the season is upon us. Maybe to start, just reflect upon the first half. I know there were high expectations coming in here, but as a coach seeing these guys and being around them day in and day out, are you satisfied with where the Greyhounds are at right now?
I don't know if I would ever be satisfied.
Coaches are never satisfied, right?
That's a hard question for a coach, no doubt. But we feel good with where we're at. We feel that certainly there's some games where we left points out there. We could have played better and have ourselves in an even better spot. We don't think we're really not in a lot different spot than we were last year after the first half. And with that leads to a lot of motivation to continue to push to get better. We know we're not good enough to where we really truly want to be. So obviously I think that makes us take a hard look at our roster and things like that as we approach the trade deadline. But we know as a coaching staff we just got to continue to push on the finer details of the game and continue to coach the process rather than the results. We've had some games where we've gotten away with some things that we won't get away with when it really counts. And we felt that last year. We were a really good team all year, but we just didn't get it done in the playoffs. We weren't good enough. So we have that in the back of our minds, both as a staff and organization, and as well as the players that were with us last year that felt it. So it's an easy thing for us to tap into to continue to push to get better, so we're prepared when playoffs come around.
So the second half of the season, everybody knows that the games get harder, the teams improve. Is it just basically a daily improvement you want to see in your guys leading up to the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily true in terms of the games getting harder. I think some of the games get harder, some teams get better, some teams get worse because some teams are unloading. You seem to see a real separation in that sense, but obviously everybody's tightening up as the playoffs come around. I think that is probably more of where it comes in terms of the games being more competitive. But just, yeah, for us, it's more coaching that process every day and being realistic about what we may or may not get away with in playoffs and the type of matchups we're going to face, and really focus on the games against the top teams and challenging ourselves there, really being honest with ourselves about where we're at and what we need to do. Like I said, last year was a learning experience for us in many senses, and we feel we're better for it, having gone through it, and we'll be much more prepared this time around, and we've got a lot of work ahead.
As far as some individual play goes, we've seen a lot of good things from Blake Spears this year. Jared McCann starting to come on, and Raymakers in his role now, he seems to be playing a decent game. Are you pleased with the progress of those guys?
Yeah, I think all three have done well. Blake Spears here just prior to Christmas put together 2 or 3 weeks of some dominant hockey, the best hockey I've seen him play. Raymakers is finding his way. He's taken advantage of the opportunity here to be relied upon more with Halverson being away at World Juniors here now, and previous to that, not playing very well and being inconsistent. So Raymakers has gotten lots of opportunities.
Do you see the roster changing a lot in the second half?
Obviously, I'm a coach, not a manager.
But you have input.
Kyle Ratis has been very busy. Obviously, I think he recognizes where we're at as a team, and some opportunities that may be out there for us to pursue. I think it would make sense for us to entertain those and be very much involved and be a factor in anything that's going on around the league and seeing what may work for us. We like our team, we like our depth. There's a lot of positive things with our group, but at the same time we need to be honest with ourselves about what we're really trying to accomplish out of this season, and the fact that we're going to face some very, very tough competition against teams that are going to get better here in the next week or so. So we've got to really look at that and make some strong decisions and do what's right for us.
From a coaching standpoint, is it comfortable knowing that you have a nice lead in the West Division and the Western Conference? Like, you're right up there, and the West Division this year isn't as competitive as past years. Does that matter to you?
Well, it matters in the sense that our goal coming into the season is to win our division. I think that's the focus. Those are the teams you play the most, and you can't even focus even on a bigger picture of winning the Eastern Conference, because there's a lot of other factors that you just don't control necessarily. But you really want to win your division. Those are your rivals. Those are the teams you see the most. So we like where we're at in that sense, but we never lose sight of where we're going or what we're doing, and I very rarely look at the standings, pay much attention to it. I feel we have a chance to win every single game that we play, and we approach it that way, but it's more just about preparing ourselves to play when it matters the most, and wherever the standings lie at the end of the day, we're still going to have to play a 4 out of 7 series against somebody, and we're going to have to be better than them, so we just really focus on doing that.
For Go Sault Ste. Marie, I'm Gino Cavallo.